Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We are playing with our Ringleader. And as you can see, we got shield charge up and running. And it is glorious. So, Ringleader is still using Infernal Blow at this point in time. Also, the shiny new shield we picked up last time, the Crest of Perandus, we got it equipped. I actually did the Grand Daddy Crab quest, got ourselves an extra skill point, so we got the Art of the Gladiator for more dex and ignoring movement penalties. And we're now going onwards towards getting Defiance and then dropping down towards Golem's Blood.
Find your own way in land, Exile.
And until you get the Gladiator's skill thingamajig that makes you ignore all movement penalties from armor. Until then, you probably want some movement speed on your boots, or you might not want to use a shield or armor or something like that, because otherwise you'll be a bit sluggish. Also, shield charge in combination with... Ooh, wow, that's a double unique. Interesting. So, as I said, using the shield charge while your movement speed is actually negative, it doesn't really do a lot for you. It really doesn't do a lot for you. So, you want the Art of the Gladiator as soon as possible. Well, basically, it coincides with this level 10, level 11 level range. So. Most of the time things are gonna work out just fine, and if you're not trying to rush through the content as I am, then most of the time you'll make it without actually encountering any difficulties. So I also switched out my helmet and my boots, so we now got a Infernal Blow, melee splash and added fire, and for now I got Ancestral Protector with melee splash and added fire. So we actually have a AoE totem that does some extra damage. You can see it here. Poof, poof, poof. It actually does do some reasonable hits. It's no slouch. Of course, it's not the same as our DPS, 80 versus 36. There's a difference. The totem does do less DPS, but on the other hand, it's bonus DPS if you just plop it down and attack. And of course, because it makes you faster, it increases your DPS as well. 80 to 88, that's 10% DPS because 10% attack speed. Doesn't say. Well, let's go with 10% extra attack speed. Later on I'll be dropping the totem and I'll put Dominating Blow in its place. That way, basically until we get the Bringer of Rain, we will be using our Dominating Blow in our helmet or something, and we'll keep the Infernal Blow in our body armor. And then if we got Bringer of Rain, which forces us to, well, sacrifice our body armor for the greater good, then we'll switch to just a Dominating Blow and keep in Infernal Blow as a spare that we can swap in for certain boss fights rather than that we keep it around all the time. So, diminished utility, but well, choices have to be made, so to say. Sapphire Ring, well, already got good Sapphire Rings. Actually have a pretty excellent one lined up for level 13, if I remember correctly. That will help me max out my cold resist for the Merveil fight, or getting it close to maxed out. I think we'll end up at like 70 points. Extra chance to block, so currently we are at a 35% chance to block. So that's whatever your shield offers you plus 3. I am very much used to having my cry on 5. Let's go with that. And yes, I have renumbered my keys. By default, I think these are on number keys and these are on the letters. And I've flipped them around. because I'm using a Razer Naga mouse, which is one of those mice that has a numeric keypad on the side. I'll actually show it. It's like this. So there's 12 buttons on the side, and it does take a week or two to get used to it. But once you're used to playing with this, you don't really want to go back to a normal mouse, because I can use all my abilities basically just with my right hand. So I can cast all my skills with my right hand, and I got my left hand just for using my flasks. That works pretty well. If you're playing MMOs or other games that have lots of skills on the skill bar, actually let's grab these as well. Then you can cast all your spells with also your right hand. And since my right hand is my primary hand, I'm a bit more dexterous with it. And I just like having lots and lots of buttons. Let's see. Ooh, Kadiro. What do you have? Hey, Crest of Perendus. I've seen that one before. It's actually inferior to what I currently have. So
Allow me to turn your
we're not gonna spend our coins on that. But no, it's good to see that he does offer it for very little. Also, I had another look at the Facebreakers I traded. And it's actually item level 21, so I think I can only roll up to 3 sockets on it. That's something I overlooked. Because in my mind, Facebreakers is a higher end item, but of course if it only requires level 16, it's gonna be able to drop rather early in the game as well. So I probably want to trade myself another pair of Facebreakers that is actually level 35 or higher, so it can roll up to 4 sockets. Because otherwise you're kind of gimping yourself. No, I was actually not going to use my Facebreakers to have my attacks on. It was more of a utility thing with just some different skills on it. Like work rise, auras, things like that. Let's see, defend the relic, we can do that. Okay, put the totem down. So it's not going to be an issue in the short term, but in the long term, in terms of build maximization, I probably want a better pair of Facebreakers. But that can always be arranged, of course. Especially now that I know that they are relatively affordable. I can just take my time and look for someone that is a bit better.
My spirit is spent.
I think for future leagues, I'm also gonna my first character is just gonna be solo Suffound, just to see how far I can push my very first character with the very first playthrough, and then after that I'll probably dive a bit more into slightly more obscure builds, more advanced builds that may be using some of the uniques I found, or maybe something that I traded for. I'm not quite sure. And maybe once I do manage to get to maps, I'll actually start trading for better gear. Just to ensure that my power level is a bit better. And as a result, I might actually stay alive longer and not drop out on tier 5. Actually, I click this one away. Ooh, Chaos Orb, push 65. Never have enough Chaos Orbs. Not quite sure if this is a good deal or not. You could argue that you buy something like a Facebreaker for a Chaos, so not that bad of a deal. Let's see, something like that. Just get a decent stack of these. You go there. And then we sort all this stuff away. And also that for selling. Okay. Go downstairs. Ship graveyards.
Allow me to turn your court.
Yay.
You're getting quite a deal there.
And we got a Chaos Orb. Excellent. I think 1 chaos for 65 coins is a... I think I've gotten better deals. I think I've managed to buy like 5 chaos for 200 coins or something like that. A bit further into the game, obviously. Oh. There's they want to die. Yeah, put down the totem. Punch faster. And we get out. Very far away. Yeah, I think we were... This was a walkable distance. It's not worth going back to town. So a higher level shield charge, faster attacks on it. They all help you move a bit faster, I think. Just having a faster base speed is also going to help quite a bit. Oh no, he betrayed us. That was unexpected. And now he's dead. Baby.
It's not every day that I get to duel with a legend. Thank you, Fairgraves.
Okay. Well, we will walk towards Merveil's cavern and use that waypoint to get back. Then we get the skill point from this. We get the skill from Nissa. Have a look over our gear. We're still too low level to use our Facebreakers, so that's gonna be in Act 2 while we equip it. We'll just keep Merveil for as it is. And then once we get to Act 2 town, we'll look over our gear and see how things are. And then we'll say goodbye to our stabby sword. And we'll start going punchy. So also just in terms of playstyle, Infernal Blow wants you to group enemies up and then kill them all in one go. That's a similar type of playstyle as you want to have with Dominating Blow. You want to group them up and then kill them all at once. With Dominating Blow, the whole idea there, of course, is to be mana efficient, because it's a freaking expensive skill, so you just want to dominate as many opponents as possible at the same time. While here, you want to have them explode, of course, so that is the effect you're going for. Summon a totem, that might be useful. Enduring Cry or the Rallying Cry just to get some more mana.
My spirit is spent.
Okay. Piranha's Horde. Ooh, that's gonna be a lot of coins, isn't it? Not quite. Okay. And not even in Merveil's cave yet. Ah, there it is. We found it. Okay, town it is.
Greetings.
So we sell things. This one as well. Why did I even pick this up? I don't know. Oh, it's Bestel that gives you the reward here. Let's see, Reef, Sweep, or Rain of Arrows. Well, none of them is useful, so I might as well grab Reef. Skill point, so that's just slightly more damage. Currently at 90 DPS with Infernal Blow. Which for this level is pretty darn respectable. Put all the other things in here. Actually, these are currency items. Might as well put them in the currency tab. For the Ringleader. So we have another Sapphire Ring. That's gonna get our resistances to 73 against cold, which is pretty good. We got almost 500 life, so I'm not concerned about that either. Sort this away. Actually have some higher level flasks, might as well swap into those as well. 210 mana versus 110 mana, so that's better mana regen. And the gems, they still need more levels. We actually need more intelligence for Flame Dash. So I was really thinking, like, hey, I've got shield charge, why am I not using Flame Dash? I did remember to buy it on another character, but you need way more int. And well, unless you're going for mana flows, you don't really have a good source of early game intelligence. Duelists are not that smart. There's no travel nodes either, so you probably want to grab mana flows for the intelligence. Later on, as you travel east on the map, there are of course some intelligence nodes, not a lot actually. This is one of the precious few. Okay, so early game mana flows is pretty useful, and later on for traveling or from gear you might grab them, but intelligence is gonna be the hardest stat to obtain. That's the simple thing to remember here. Okay. Hello there, Perandus doggies. Let's stick to this. Another Perandus mob. The Golden Horde. Yeah. But we've reached the point where we're overpowering the local mobs. Having access to some higher end items does help a lot. Getting linked skills does help a bit, though it actually doesn't provide as much damage as you would expect. I mean, Infernal Blow is 105 DPS. If you take the added fire off, for example, it's 87. So it's a bonus, but it's not completely overpowering. And it does add to the mana signature. So no getting the melee splash on if you have mana issues and don't like drinking from mana flask, or whatever is your gripe with it. You can just go for the melee splash and just wait with adding more to it until you actually have a bit more mana to go around. Yeah, well, keep it going. Golem's blood. Because you never have enough life or a regeneration. Let's take out some of the regular mobs here. Dive in here. Ooh, haha. So, was being ambushed from all sides. There was a unique coming from the bottom, there were some blues from the left, and there was a Perandus mob from the east. Let's take them out first. Wait. It's a bugged one. Okay. It detonates nearby corpses. Okay, that could potentially be painful. They got this very, very nice bismuth flask. 35% elemental resistances and an additional 23%. So this flask by itself gives you 60 resist all elementals at least. So if you don't have the rings together or anything, a well-tuned bismuth flask is also gonna do wonders to fix your resistances in tight spots. And eventually I'll put a granite flask there, but you need to be a higher level for those. I think 27 was the magical level for flasks. Which actually surprised me. I thought they would be available from lower levels, but I guess the minimum required level is also when they start dropping. Because you never really find them early on anyway. The Cavern of Anger. So, I'm gonna go for Merveil. After that we finish the Monkey Forest and make our way to Act 2. And then next episode we'll actually start using Facebreakers. We're still level 14, so we might or might not hit 15 in the next, before Merveil. But 16 is gonna be a pretty tall order. Especially since we're already slightly over leveled here. Yeah, we can actually go through here. It looked like it could have been blocked there. Okay. Another here. Horrendous mob. Okay, let's dive into the archers this time. The meleers will approach anyway, but this way we at least get to kill the archers. And because of splash damage we just take out everybody at the same time. Having the punchy totem also helps, or the stabby totem. Okay. So once we got more native mana regeneration, I'll probably drop the Quicksilver Flask as well. But right now, mana regeneration is not strong enough that I have full confidence I can keep using my shield charge. Merveil's Lair, here we go.
This is love's true face!
So having a very high cold resistance is definitely a boon here. So I have to remember to use Rallying Cry to keep my mana regen up. That way I'm gonna be less dependent on my potions. Because she starts spawning a lot of minions in the first wave, so you don't really have a lot to recharge the flasks. But also, speaking of minions, I want my totem here, because that's gonna help me kill her faster. Also, where did she go? There did you go. Okay. So, damage output of this build this early, it's pretty sick. And that's considering that I'm focusing mostly on defenses actually rather than offense. You know, I got 2 to 5 physical on each of my rings, because that's going to be useful for Facebreakers. I got a decent rare, but most of the damage, bonus damage, is elemental rather than physical, so this is not even as optimal as it could be. And there's some elemental damage scattered, but no, there's not really a lot of damage on this build. Southern Forest, level 14. This might be one of the earliest for me. Most of the time it's 15 or 16 when I arrive. Oh, we'll just have to kill the monkeys. Or the apes. They're apes. They're bloody apes. Blues. Good. You keep summoning apes. I keep killing apes. I think that will be teamwork. Or something along those lines. Okay. One to the side. Yay, a firestorm. Okay, I'll keep pushing. XP gain here is not quite bad. In between episodes I'll probably run this area a couple more times just to get to level 16 so we can equip the Facebreakers. So next episode we'll start off actually using the Facebreakers. Or actually we'll equip it next time, then I can actually do a before after show with the DPS as well. Just to give you an indication of how things are changing. So you've seen that, you know, going with a weapon, it's completely viable with Infernal Blow. And then we'll see the impact of Facebreakers. I think we're gonna gain a lot of damage, but we'll see about that. So I actually, with my previous character, didn't really pay a lot of attention to the DPS early on, but later on at level 50 or something, at some point, I every once in a while I just picked up a random rare that looked pretty decent and just equipped it. Just to have a compare with Facebreakers damage and not Facebreakers damage. And most of the time I actually lost quite a chunk of DPS switching from Facebreakers to a weapon, so Facebreakers ought to be rather superior in terms of damage output. Actually, that's just things. Well, yeah, that's good. So, I think that's it for this episode. So, Merveil lies dead. We are level 15 and a half. Next episode we're going to be 16 and then we will start using those Facebreakers. So thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.